grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You really flip your lid. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is.
Gee whiz!
I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy, I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
But the one that really scared everybody turned up at a Toys R Us.
This seemingly normal toy store is a popular place for local kids. There are those who claim that it's a favorite haunt of a very playful ghost.
Could a ghost be lurking here in this irresistible playground? A psychic named Sylvia Brown believes she made contact with the ghost.
I kept picking up this Yanni Johnson or Johnny Johnston.
The toy store is located on the exact spot where this house once stood. It was built in the late 1800s by a prosperous settler named Martin Murphy.
Further research revealed that a local circuit preacher sometimes lived on the Murphy farm. His name was John Johnson, and he had fallen in love with Martin Murphy's daughter, Elizabeth.
Johnson often worked on the farm to pay for his room and board. Unfortunately, Elizabeth paid little attention to him. One day while chopping wood, Johnson badly slashed his leg. Unable to move or get help, he bled to death.
Bleeding to death is, I've talked to doctors that I do work with, and that's really not that painful. It's sort of a slow tiredness, so he probably doesn't even realize he is dead.
Now we wondered if our psychic Sylvia Brown could make contact with the ghost that was loose in the store.
The best way was to set up a seance. We hired professional photographers to take pictures throughout the session, and it was in their cameras that the unbelievable appeared to happen.
Okay, all right, I really feel him now. I think he's in the back. Yeah, he's beginning to walk. Yeah, now he's coming very, very quickly. Just moving along to the right, turning his head now towards me. Johnny, come, or Yanni, come towards me this way a little bit. He's got his hands in his pockets. He's looking down at his feet.
These photographs were taken during the time that Sylvia Brown is talking to the ghost of John Johnson. The photograph in this proof sheet was taken with infrared film. At the same time, the photograph on this proof sheet was taken with high-speed film. The incredible thing is that the enlarged infrared photograph shows a shadowy figure standing at the back of the picture that does not show up in the photographs taken with high-speed film.
John, you can find Beth if you just go on to the other side. You really are caught in a time framework. No, all right, if you don't want to talk, no, I won't say anything if you don't want to talk about it. It was nice of you to come to see us.
My assistant and I do not remember anyone standing in this position while Sylvia was talking to the ghost of John Johnson. And we cannot explain why a figure that appears in an infrared photograph does not appear in a photograph taken at virtually the same instant with high-speed film.
Take care of yourself. May you find peace, Johnny. Yeah, he's going around the corner. That's very sad.
What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in, right? And according to that thumbnail and the clip that you just seen, oh, we're about to get it in, eh? We're about to definitely get it in. I told some haunted stories yesterday, some paranormal stories, and I forgot to tell this one. This one right here is the most incredible one. Probably one of the most legendary stories up out of the Bay Area when it comes to paranormal activity. So we're going to get to that, man. I'm going to give you my input. You've pretty much heard the story. And we're going to talk fact or fiction, man. We're going to talk, was it real? You know, some of the history, some of my homeboys that actually went and walked the grounds of that Toys R Us. We're going to let you know what it is. But before we do, hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bells on all. So that way you're directed in the dope direction of the dope content that I'm always kicking. And I highly appreciate you. Gracias, man. Thank you for all the support. Now, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I think we all heard that song before. We've all seen that commercial. We were all Toys R Us kids in the 80s, the 90s. And then Toys R Us fell apart, right? It just went out of business. But that's neither here nor there. The fact remains, a lot of us grew up as Toys R Us kids. A lot of us didn't have the money to go to Toys R Us, but we used to see the commercial and live vicariously through that fucking big ass giraffe. And that's just how that was. Jeffrey the Giraffe definitely was. As soon as we hear that, it didn't matter if you were getting cereal, some Captain Crunch. It didn't matter if you were taking a shit in the toilet. It didn't matter what you were doing. As soon as you heard, I want the He-Man, right? You know what I mean? You wanted to be a Toys R Us kid, especially in the barrio, in the ghetto. For those of us that really didn't, we just passed Toys R Us. We didn't really go in there. But, a legendary story out of the Bay Area. Sunnyvale is located right out of San Jose. And I got a lot of family from the Newark area, San Jose area, that have actually went to the actual Toys R Us that was supposedly haunted. Now, I had one primo that said, since they shut it down in 2017, that he has walked past that Toys R Us. It's not open now. I know that the last thing that I heard that they had going on there is they had a Spirits Halloween store that they were doing up out of that spot. I bet you that motherfucker was scary, right? But my primo did pass by there several times, him and his old lady, and said that he's seen lights flickering and things of that nature. Now, he might just be carrying the urban legend on, or it might be truth. At the end of the day, I never actually went to that Toys R Us, but I heard a lot of stories about it. Now, when you think haunted or you think paranormal activity, you mostly think areas like Napa. You think areas like Livermore, the lady in the white dress. And then you think areas like San Francisco, with all the occult and all the things that have went on there, all the black magic and the voodoo and things of that nature. I've actually been to Frisco, the city, a gang of times, man. And I tell you, it's an eerie presence there at night. It could either be because there's so much bums and it stinks like shit in the Tenderloin district, or it could be some real shit going on. But this Toys R Us that's located in San Jose, it got very popularized because of Sylvia Browne and because of that show. This is incredible. Prior to that, I guess employees that worked there said they seen toys move. They said they seen things flying across the room, flying across the building, lights flickering on and off, and hearing voices, a man's voice in particular, right? So I guess Sylvia Browne, who in the late 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, started to get famous, for being somebody, a clairvoyant, someone who could talk to the dead. There's a lot of people that believe in Sylvia Browne. There's a lot of people that thought she was just bullshitting and she was working the system to get ahead. Now, at the same time, I never met the chick, so I don't know if she was just another torta with a snack habit, or at the same time, if she really, did have the ability to, communicate with ghosts. We'll never know. But one thing is for sure, this show took an interest in this Toys R Us in San Jose, and it went mainstream, man, meaning that, it kind of went viral before viral was viral. And it was hard to do that back in them days. Nowadays you could do something, you could just do this right here. I could go viral, right? Everyone could want to, this fool's stupid. And that's it. Next thing you know, I'm making hella feria, all because I look goofy or I did the geek leak, and it's that easy. I could fucking drink cranberry juice and ride a fucking skateboard. And next thing you know, fucking I'm on the George Lopez show. No hating. I'm just saying that's the way it works. But back in them days, it wasn't that easy. If a story took off, it took off. So anyways, I guess this show got in contact with this actual store and decided to set up a seance or an actual viewing of the store. And I guess when these people went, they seen some weird shit. They did hear voices. They did see toys moving, lights flickering, things of that nature. Now, from everything that I've always heard, that this ghost that is allegedly supposed to walk this store, be in this store, never harmed anyone, never hurt anyone, never scared anyone to the point of get the fuck out of here, right? But it definitely, would freak you out if you're working at a damn toy store and of course the toys start mobbing. All of a sudden Elmo, you don't even got to tickle him. He just starts going, it's crazy, right? But they did actually set this up, and the cool part about it was actually nationally televised. So it went on this show, Sylvia Browne being a big name, being a clairvoyant, like I said, a psychic and all this shit. She goes to the place, the spot is, in Sunnyvale, which then a lot of people like to say San Jose, but it's actually Sunnyvale, located right outside of San Jose. But she actually goes there. Now, the cool part, just like you've seen in the clip, was I think Sylvia made up this love story between this Elizabeth and this Johnny or whatever. But that store was actually and is actually located where that old farmhouse was. I looked into the history, did my homework, and yes, absolutely, there was a family there. So she could have easily looked into the archives, found the daughter, of course, this fucking young guy from wherever he was from that used to go there, and made up this love story to put 2 on the 10 to make it sound more believable. Whatever the case is, that is an actual story that did take place. There was someone who did lose his life according to an axe accident. Orale, right? I can rhyme. 50 Cent, man, where's death upon me? See, I'm not a rap. Anyways, I'm not, you're not the only one. I can rap too. So, this Vato, did actually cut his leg with an axe and die. Okay, that's what the history says of that farmhouse. Then years later, of course, Toys R Us is built there, and they started experiencing the paranormal activity. So I think Sylvia Brown, seen this story, ran with it, try to blow it up, bubble it up to make it sound more good. You're not gonna go in there and say, oh yeah, I think this motherfucker's haunted. There's fucking a fucking G.I. Joe with a kung fu grip that's got fucking Cobra Commander in the headlock, right? No one's gonna believe that shit, unless they see it for themselves. And even then, when people see things, it's hard to believe. And I understand, man. I've been in a couple places, like I told you the story yesterday about getting moved in the sleeping bag. I've been in a couple places and can tell you a couple other stories where I was just like, nah, it can't be, it shouldn't be, right? But it was. And that's just it. You have to understand, as people, there's a lot in the unknown, a lot we don't know about. I can sit here and I can speak about gangs, and I can speak about prison, and I can speak about the hood, the barrio, the turf, the Crips, the Bloods, the North End thugs, right? I can talk about all that because I know that. I've seen it. I've lived that life. But when it comes to the paranormal, when it comes to ghosts and demons and goblins and things of that nature, fuck, I don't know, eh? Something motivated me, and I know it wasn't God, right? And that's it. So anyway, Sylvia Brown doing the seance or whatever she was doing, there actually is pictures. They actually, when they were filming it, she started to cry, say that she was talking to this ghost, that, he was basically stuck in limbo. We hear that all the time. The ghosts are stuck. They can't go to the afterworld or wherever the hell they go, to rest because of some tragedy or something that's happened to them. Or maybe they just don't want to go. They don't want to leave people behind. And that's why he was stuck, which was that farmhouse. But actually, it's where the Toys R Us is located. Now, she said that she's seen him. She was talking to him. Then he mobbed off. He said, nah, bitch, I'm cool. And left. There are pictures. You seen the picture. Was it truth? They swore up and down, even to this day, that was true. There's a lot of people from the San Jose, Sunnyvale area, Milpitas, all that have said absolutely they've seen some crazy shit there. I told you, my primo said he's seen some crazy shit, him and his old lady. They seen the lights flickering. I was looking at TikTok, and there was a person that actually had actual footage. I'm sorry I didn't get it for you guys, Spencer. It was early in the morning when I did this video yesterday. So they actually are going by filming the store, and the store's abandoned. It's done. This was in 2017, when all the stores shut down, the Toys R Us shut down, and the lights are flickering. And you could see it. So look it up. So this is one of the most told urban stories, or one of the most well-known haunted places in California that I wasn't able to get to yesterday, Spencer. But it actually happened, man. There are actually people that have seen, that were there, that have worked there, that have told stories about it. Now, I've been to a lot of places, and I felt a lot of different ways. I'm one of those people that if I walk into a place, I could feel the sadness, or I could feel the depression around that motherfucker. Like, damn, homie, why is everyone quiet? It ain't all that bad, right? But it is. It's just like going to prison. There's a buzzing, cousin. When you walk in, you could sense death. You could sense a reality. The reality is you're probably not going to make it if you act stupid. Okay? That's the way you feel when you go into a lot of places that are actually haunted. I remember a while back, if you guys don't remember, we actually did me and a few of the homies, man, we all gathered up, rented an Airbnb. And I remember it was about a year and a half ago, and we all kicked it, right? And then after that, you know, one of the homeboys was driving me and him were driving back to the Bay. And as we're driving to the Bay, facts, truth, we stopped in Sacramento at this hotel. It's kind of like on the outskirts. And it was supposedly haunted. I remember we jumped off the car, we kind of recorded it. We didn't go actually into the hotel, but we looked at it. And this place was in the middle of a fucking cornfield, in the middle of nowhere, man. There's like a river right across from it. So those of you that are from the Sacramento area, you would understand and know. And it's a night, you could tell it's nice. They had like a hall room, I guess, where it was built, where people could dance or whatever, a ballroom, not a hall room. So I can't think about juvenile hall. Fuck, I'm all stuck in the 90s. But they actually had a ball room where people could dance. And it just looked, you know, from the outside looking in, it looked fucking scary than a motherfucker. It looked like an axe murderer once lived there, right? Kind of like that hotel, the Cecil Hotel in LA, you know, something, fuck that. You know, I ain't trying to go there. People come up missing, chales, tamales, that's just how it looked. So I could only understand that Toys R Us having the notoriety that it does because of this story. But let's keep it real. You know, some things that are Hollywood, man. They're meant to be spiced up. So that story, you know, kind of jazzed things up and spiced it up. Sylvia Brown, there's been people that say, yeah, she is, she isn't. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. Having talked to my primo, having talked to relatives and homeboys from Sunnyvale and that area, they truly, honestly believe, man, that is one of the most haunted places in Northern California, period, man. And I've heard a lot of stories about it. I'm thinking one day, I don't know if they tore it down. Maybe you guys from Sunnyvale could get in the comments and let me know. I don't know if they built fucking condominiums or a Wiener Schnitzel there, but at the same time, I'd like to take a trip, man, and go over there and trip out on it. You know, I know it's not Toys R Us now. Subsequently, since all the bullshit happened, Toys R Us shut down worldwide, nationwide. You know, I heard they were making a comeback, but I can't call it like an alcoholic. I just know Toys R Us is gone. But it's up for you to decide the paranormal. You know, at the end of the day, anyone can tell you anything, show you anything. Shit, a fucking ghost right now could get me in the headlock and say, shut up, bitch. And you still might not believe it. You're going to be like, oh, look, they finally caught up to you. You know, it's just is what it is. I truly, honestly believe that this story was real. The picture is the proof of the pudding. You know, there's two different pictures. One of them was taken, you know, in real time. The other one was taken with the infrared camera. And you can distinctly see what looks like a man. Now, I can't call it. It could be a fucking, nowadays it could be a fucking transmission. Nowadays it could be a woman that thinks she's a man. We don't know. And we don't want to go there because that opens a whole different discussion. And next thing you know, you're going to have some weirdo fucking screaming, I don't identify. Fuck, man, Spencer. It's not my bad. Shit, this is 2000 and fucking, this is way before then, homie. Back then, people identified. Now, you could be a fucking cat. Look at Doja Cat. She identifies now as the devil. I don't know. You know what I mean? Spencer. Anyways, with that being said, gente, I touched on some of the most haunted places, and I will be doing some of the most haunted places in Southern California coming soon. I know the Queen Mary, man. I've heard people talk about that one. I'm actually thinking about doing some travels, man, and giving you some good content. So we're going to make shit happen here on the Collective Clips, but I highly appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for everything that you've been doing for me. You know, we're going to get to it, man, because, you know, that's how we knew it. So you let me know in the comments, man. Do you believe the Toys R Us was haunted? Shit, you know, I don't know if they were haunted because I never got to go to Toys R Us. I was a Toys R Us kid that didn't get to go. I think I've been to Toys R Us in Modesto one time back in the days. It was right there off the 99 over there by the steakhouse, right? I went there one fucking time. One time. That's it. And didn't get a damn thing. In fact, I don't even think I got to go in. I think my mom made me wait in the car. Remember back in the days when you had to wait in the car? Nowadays you can't. You'll get kidnapped by some fucking chiru who was sold to Mexico. But back in the days, you know, you fucking act stupid in Kmart? Oh, shit. Wait in the fucking car. Hot and shit. Nowadays, the parents are all locked up. Shit. Back in our days, we got our ass whipped and waited in the car. All sad and shit. Just facts and truth. At least that's how we did it in my hood. Mom's was no joke. She was vicious with the chancla. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, definitely, man, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle to strive and the strive to struggle. I will be continuing to bring you guys different content on both channels. A little something new, a little something different, man. Just talking about gangs in prison gets old after a while, doesn't it? There's other things in this world, man. We're going to talk about preparation for the end of the world. We're going to talk about a little bit of Jesus, break bread like Jesus said. And we're going to talk a little paranormal, man. It's just what I do. You never know what flavor I'm bringing, but the Kool-Aid is good, so sip it. No added preservatives. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and struggle and strive for mine, man. Are you going to do it for yours? I don't know. Is Sylvia Brown full of shit, or was that really a ghost over there in Sunnyvale? I think it was. Bang, bang. Ding, 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 ding.